I have fought against the white domination. I have fought against the black domination. And I look for a society which is democratic in nature and wherein people live in harmony with each other. I cherish the idea where everyone is equal. And I am looking forward to such a society, and I am prepared to die, if required, to bring about such a change in the country. These are the words of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, the man behind the freedom struggle of South Africa, was put behind bars, that is given a life imprisonment punishment for the act of treason in the year 1964 for the next 28 years, and in the worst of the cell that they had, that is at Robben Island. This is how Nelson Mandela suffered, struggled, worked hard towards achieving independence of South Africa. Now, in South Africa, the whites, that is the people who had settled there, followed the policy of apartheid. That is segregation of the blacks. They were not given any voting right. They could not go to the clubs. They could not go to the restaurants. They could not go to the cinema halls. They could not even go to the same church where the whites worshipped. And the whites had actually captured this place by the use of arms and force. So such were the harsh conditions of the inhabitants of South Africa, wherein the white settlers had become the rulers of that country. Little different from what it was in India, because in India these people actually came and settled down but did not continue for long as rulers. In South Africa, there were three categories of races: the blacks, the whites and the colored. The blacks were the original inhabitants of South Africa. The whites were those settlers who had come from outside to trade and then became the rulers, and the colored were those from Asia, like India. Now, restrictions were there on all the non-whites, and nobody had the right to stand unequal to the whites who became the masters, the rulers. But the struggle started by 1950, and the African National Congress started protesting against the segregation which was there of the blacks. They demanded for equal rights. They demanded for humanity. They demanded for being treated as human beings. It was just not the blacks, but also various intelligent whites who started joining hands with the blacks to give them those rights. Other countries of the world also gave a sympathetic approach, and they too lent their hand as far as getting them rights was concerned. So that was the condition of South Africa when Nelson Mandela was the leader or at the helm of affairs, was jailed, was given life imprisonment, was released, later on to become the first president of the South Africa, in fact the first black president.